Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Relationship Advice and it's by user Deleted. My 21 male parents, male and female 50s, think I need therapy because I enjoyed my summer vacation. Please help me. Sorry, I'm on mobile, so formatting may be weird. The title basically gives my explanation of events. And I'm sorry if this doesn't sound coherent. I've been crying for the first time since I was 10. I don't really show emotions and it shocked me when I started crying while writing this. My sophomore year of college was very busy. I had classes and a full-time job during the whole school year. I got good grades and made some decent money from my job. I failed to get an internship, but luckily I did some freelance stuff, so I can still put it on my resume. With the money I saved from working, I decided that I would just relax this summer. I previously worked at a fast food place, name rhymes with Mendy's, and absolutely hated it. After every shift, I would just be physically drained. So, because I had money in my bank account, I decided that I would relax for the next 3 months I had of summer break. And I know once I get back to school in early August, I'm not gonna have the free time like I do this summer. So most days I would be in my room watching YouTube, watching sports, or playing video games. I wouldn't say that I'm an introvert, but all my friends work full-time jobs as well, so my options were limited. I always felt bad when my parents would ask if I wanted to see a movie they were going to see and I would say no. We just don't like the same things. I honestly was having a great summer in my mind. I would hang out with my friends when I could, and if not, I was totally fine being by myself. My parents are borderline gambling addicts, so I was always fine with being alone when they went to the casino. My parents make good money from their job, so I don't blame them if they want to have fun at the casino. Sorry for the rambling, but I need to get to the events of the past day. Yesterday was my birthday, 21st, yippee! And I went out with my friends that night. The next day, my mother and I went to the RMV to renew my license. Well, long story short, I effed up and didn't renew it correctly. My mother pointed it out after I said how much I paid and when I didn't do the standard eye test. My license, in fact, doesn't expire till the next year, but if I have an internship next summer, I don't want to be in my home state, preferably. So, when she finds out that I effed up, she starts berating me. Mind you, my mother has been my rock for my entire life. She won't admit it, but I know she has anger management problems. When she starts raising her voice, I just let the hate flow through me and screamed at her to F off. I know in hindsight it was wrong to do, but in my family, if someone starts yelling, you have to yell back to get your point across. Then crap hits the fan. We basically have a screaming match and I call my father, knowing that she'd only stop if I called him. I explained everything that happened at the DMV and I don't know why, but I just started crying. Anytime my mother sees someone cry, she yells, "Why are you crying?" Like she doesn't understand that people sometimes cry when they get yelled at. I've been good at not crying, but I just couldn't keep it in this time. I cry the whole way home as she keeps berating me for what I did. She mentions all the things she does for me and this is how I pay her back for all the things she does for me? When I got home, my dad asked me if I needed to go to therapy. I was shocked that he even asked me that. I've never dealt with mental problems in my life. I asked him why, and he says because I've been cooped up in my room all summer. I told him I had a busy school year and that I just wanted to relax. Mind you, that for that first month and a few weeks, I was still doing the occasional freelance stuff, but he thinks there's something wrong with me just because I enjoy playing video games in my free time. I actually did start working again this week just to get a little extra cash in my pocket before I headed back to college, but he doesn't get why I wasn't working the whole time. My dad goes on to say that my mother has always been the only one in my corner. I seriously think he hates me, and I'm okay with that because a lot of the time I hate him too. But now, after the shouting match today, I have no one. I seriously believe my parents think I have mental problems or life-ending thoughts, but I can tell you that I do not. I love life. I love my major in college, and I love the future career that I'm going to have. I'm optimistic for the future. I have nothing to fear right now. The only question I have is, what do I do? Do I work more to please my dad and sacrifice my enjoyment for the rest of this summer? I really have no need for therapy because I seriously feel like nothing is wrong. I have 4 weeks till I fly back down for college, and I really can't wait. I miss my job down there, and I love going to class. Any advice would be greatly appreciated because I'm seriously at a loss for words. Wow. Well, first of all, OP, your parents kind of suck. I mean, your dad for gaslighting you like that, and your mom for just going off on you because what, you effed up and you need to renew your license later or something like that? That's not so bad. I kind of get the impressions that your parents are the ones that have issues and maybe they should be going to therapy. However, maybe you should go to counseling just for you to understand why your parents are like this and to give you tools and ways to avoid them doing this kind of things to you in the future, to recognizing when they're treating you this badly, when they're basically emotionally abusing you, so that next time it happens, it doesn't hit you as hard. I mean, you've clearly been bottling up things for a lot of time if you haven't cried in like 10 years and this thing just was too overwhelming for you to try to control. That can't be healthy, so maybe a little help might come in handy for you. The other thing is maybe just try to avoid your parents for the next 4 weeks and just leave the house and go watch YouTube somewhere else or go play video games somewhere else. You don't need to go to a friend's house because they're working, but I don't know, maybe you could go to a coffee shop and be online there while your parents are not breathing down your neck. And what do you guys think about OP's situation? How would you handle it if you were in his shoes? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Quito Quoits says, I would recommend just going to therapy. It seems you and your family have a lot of issues with your dynamics, so it might help you dealing with them in the long term. If they want to pay for therapy, it doesn't hurt to then use it to your advantage. Possible Mess says, honestly, everyone needs therapy. Everyone has mental health issues. I understand that someone telling you to go to therapy is obnoxious and a bit rude, especially a parent who has their own issues. You have to live your own life and do what you think is right for yourself. You're an adult and your parents need to respect your choices. You seem to be taking care of yourself just fine. However, not crying for that long can't be healthy. I said that. And there's a reason for it. Your mom's reaction makes it seem like she has convinced you that it's not okay to feel the way you're feeling. That's not cool. So I hope you'll think about it and consider talking to someone one day. I say this as someone who just started therapy. I thought I was okay, when in reality there were things that I've kept in my head for so long that I forgot they were there. It's been interesting to say the least. Anyway, I hope the next 4 weeks go quickly. Snaggletoes says, I echo the sentiment of others. Therapy is actually really effing great. It's not just for depressed people. Pretty much anybody can benefit from it, except maybe a few thoroughly healthy and well-adjusted individuals. The bastards. Look past the insult and take advantage of it for your own benefit. Learning how to process some of the emotional scars your crappy-sounding parents have given you. I remember my mother doing the same thing, saying maybe I need therapy. It felt effing awful, like being told by your closest ally in this world that there's something wrong with you. You're messed up and horrible. Looking back, it was mostly because I got to an age where I was becoming smarter than her and was able to backchat her with logic. If I could go back in time, I'd take her up on it. Jack Jake says, free therapy is a gift. A lot of people don't have this opportunity. It might be good for you to just go and have a place to vent about your parents and learn coping mechanisms to deal with your mom when she flies off the handle. I said that too. Win-win. You look like you're putting in the work on yourself in your parents' eyes, and you have a place to vent your frustrations for the remaining 4 weeks. It's seriously like an hour a week. It's not a huge time commitment or anything. And We Can't All Knowing says, maybe you're acting in a way that is uncharacteristic of yourself and they're noticing. Do you get mad at them right away when they suggest something to you? Sit down together and have a long conversation. Ask why they think you need to go see a therapist. There's nothing wrong with going to talk to someone. You might learn something about yourself and use it as a key to open new doors. You're probably under one of their health insurance plans. Sitting inside all day watching YouTube and playing video games could signal concern to your parents. Nothing to lose by listening to them. Just hear them out and keep your cool. They probably miss you too. You're gone 8 to 9 months of the year. Okay, well, the community gave OP a lot of different angles, but most of them were about go and enjoy the therapy you're gonna get for free. Maybe it'll help you out. Which, as I said in my commentary, I would agree with. So now, let's move on to the update to see what happened next and how the story ends, but of course before that, here's another one of my playlists for you to enjoy after this video. Now let's move on with that update. I didn't think that I would update this, but I did just to give a little something. My mother came into my bedroom and we sat down and talked. She said that she was now mad at my dad for saying that he wasn't in my corner most of my life. This is 100% true. I truly think my dad doesn't understand other people's perspectives. With his career, there's a 3-month stretch that he has to work over 100 hours a week. Hard to believe, but it's true. He thinks that if you're not busy, you should be working. This brings me to my previous problem about my summer vacation. He thought that there was something wrong with me because I wasn't working. I was just so burnt out from work and school that I decided to take a break for the summer. I go to college, 1,300 miles from my hometown, so he never saw me struggle trying to juggle school and work. It paid off. I just found out I made the dean's list for the second time. And I knew that once I headed back to school, the cycle would continue. My mother told me that he's been making snide remarks this whole summer about me not working, and my mother was the only one that kept him from forcing me to work. It made me realize that I was a dumbass for yelling at my mom today. We have our own problems, but she is seriously my rock. This has nothing to do with anything, but if my parents ever got divorced when I was younger, I would have wanted to stay with my mom permanently. She's the one who taught me how to hit a jump shot and how to throw a curveball. She took me to all my AAU basketball tournaments from age 13 to 18. My dad has never been there for those moments because he's always been working. I think I may have grown to resent him a little for always working. I think I started to truly hate him last winter when I came home from Christmas break. The previous semester was when I started my full-time job. It was a little hard for me to balance time, but the second semester of my sophomore year was a lot better. I told him that I got 3 B's, 1 A, and a C for my grades. He made a comment that still sticks with me today. He said, "Well, you better get Dean's List next semester so you'll save me money." My mom and I both laughed because we thought he was joking. He wasn't. It started another argument where my mom defended me. From that moment on, I've secretly hated him. And the events of yesterday were the icing on the cake. I told him straight up that I hated him. And his response, he said, "Well, you're entitled to your own opinion. Just remember how much I do for you." I was seething with anger, but just decided that it wasn't worth my time. I slept till around 11 p.m. and grabbed some food as I didn't eat the whole day. My mom was sleeping on the couch, mostly because she was still mad about what he said to me. So yeah, that's basically it. I made up with my mom, but I told my dad that I hated him. Thank you to all the people who told me about the benefits of therapy. It truly changed my opinion. I haven't told either of them yet, but I'm gonna say that I'll go to therapy if my dad goes as well. It can be him and I together or both of us separate. I just want to know why he thinks there's something wrong with me. I don't know if there will be another update. There's really nothing else to say at this point. Thanks everyone for the help. This subreddit became a pseudo hobby for me for the past month. I kind of like giving my opinion when others ask for help about their relationships and the dialogue people have together as a community. I'm just glad that people were here to help me out when I needed it. Thanks. OP's edit. I see a lot of people talking about how my parents are paying for my college. It's only about half true. My tuition comes out to about $43,000 a year. My parents have agreed to pay $20,000 of it since my sister dropped out of college. They used to pay $10,000. I've accumulated around $7,000 in scholarships from my college as well. The rest is coming from loans that I'm taking. So if we're counting, I pay for $16,000 of my college a year. Also, I have 2 jobs, one that I have full-time during the school year and one that's a summer and a holiday job. I've been working since I was 16, so this is nothing new. I accumulated and saved enough money from my full-time job that I decided just to relax this summer. I got to hang out with my friends more, go to the beach, etc. I wasn't able to have that during the previous summers. Whenever school ended, I went to work full-time. I seriously can't wait till I finish college and get a job. I love my career field and I can't wait to join it. But working 35 to 40 hours a week and going to school full time just emotionally and physically drained me. I managed to get the Dean's List, 4 A's and 1 B, and I got a promotion at my job. I'll be making even more money next school year. I thought it would be okay to take some time off and not have to worry about anything. I just wished that he brought this up with me earlier. Maybe if he said he didn't want me home or with my friends the whole summer, I would have gone to work. But no, he kept it to himself the entire time and kept making snide remarks to my mom. Well, OP, then I guess your mom doesn't suck so much, but she definitely needs to control her screaming at you. But it does sound like she has your back. And your dad, well, he just straight up sucks. A good thing you told him how you feel. Maybe it'll give him some pause. Or maybe not. But regardless, this is a great way to stop having a relationship with your son, you idiot. Anyways, OP, it sounds like you're doing okay. So I'm just gonna wish for the best in the future for you and take care. Thanks for sharing. Now, let's finish this video with a mood booster post. This post is from the subreddit Malicious Compliance, and it's by user A Wise Cobbler. Let's save $50 a month on a cell phone bill and risk causing 6 figures in operational damage and damage our reputation with paying customers instead. First, I love working for this company. Honestly, I really do. It's a great company, great culture. This is simply an example of bean counters looking to save $50 a month, getting things so horribly wrong at times they cause 6 figures of lost productivity and damage the reputation of paying customers. Even after it happens, there is no change in policy. I joined a new company in January of this year before working for them as a consultant. During my onboarding, I asked the hiring manager if I would be provided with a company cell phone or be able to expense out my monthly cell phone bill. He looked into it and HR told him, "This particular position is not eligible for a company cell phone as it does not require after-hours support." This answer actually made sense. I don't need to get involved in day-to-day operations support in my role. They also literally never called me once during my whole tenure as a consultant after hours. So great, I don't want to work after hours. Up until last week, that policy was upheld, just like it had been during my time as a consultant. There was never a "we're trying to reach you yesterday" when I logged in the next day, or any emails asking for my help after hours. So I was loving it. I want to repeat, this is not a dig towards the company. They upheld their end of the bargain this whole time. But here is the malicious compliance part of this story. I have no cell phone number listed in my email signature, nor on my internal company profile, because hey, I don't have a company cell phone. I have a desk phone, but that's it. I talk with a lot of IT vendors in my role, and I don't need them calling my personal line. I also did not install Outlook on my personal phone or any company apps. So last week, a major update was applied to one of the platforms that fall under my purview. The actual maintenance is performed by an operations manager and their team. Things went smoothly in our Q&A and test environment. I signed off and my boss signed off. So everything was ready, set, and go. The major update goes in. Someone incorrectly performed a few steps even though that same person performed them just fine in Q&A. Things started going wrong, horribly wrong. I was nowhere to be found. I wasn't responding to emails. I had no phone number listed anywhere, so they did the troubleshooting on their own. In hindsight, the fix was relatively simple, and I definitely would have been able to guide the team. The error wasn't even related to the update. They just went down a completely different path to resolve the issue, thinking the update was the root cause. It would have taken a few hours, but we would have fixed it. But in the moment, as things were going down, in panic and trying to recover from the incorrectly performed steps, they somehow wiped the database. Somehow. Please do not ask me how. The backup was corrupted in this process as well, and they couldn't use it to recover. Dear God. They had to pull tape backups, which are excruciatingly slow to recover from and a week old. Monday morning, I log into my laptop and I notice the holy hell that is going on. Oh crap, get on a call with the operations manager. The operations manager is level-headed and no blame is thrown. Again, as I said, great company, great culture. Asks what happened to me. I told him I had no company phone. I asked for it and they said no. He just had to shake his head. Organizationally, he and I are at the same level. He just has a reporting structure and I do not. My boss and I got on a call for a debrief and he asked the same question. I gave the same answer. No company phone. He's the one who told me my position was ineligible for a company phone as I was not required for after-hours support. All told, it took the team 5 days to recover everything, rerun all the transactions that were lost from the source systems. It took another 1.5 days for the business teams to validate all was well and match up the numbers. My boss did ask me if I had a personal cell phone. I told him no. I do, but it's the principle of the whole thing. As I said, I deal with a lot of external vendors now. I don't need them bothering me on my personal line. During business hours, we communicate over Teams, Zooms, and WebEx, and my landline never gets used as I'm barely in the office. He didn't question me further. So, all in all, about 7 days of lost system access, productivity, operational reporting, inability to efficiently serve customers, inability to efficiently deploy frontline employees, etc., etc., etc. One of the business directors was still putting together the operational impact, but he figured it was easily 6 figures, all over $50 for a month cell phone bill for a bunch of corporate employees who they might need to call once in a blue moon. The funny part is that a majority of IT is eligible for a cell phone because they are required for after-hours support. I estimate maybe 60 of us across all of IT aren't eligible due to our roles. Bean counters. Gotta love them. That being said, I did give my personal number to the operations manager for future emergencies. At the end of the day, I didn't want my team and friends to suffer if I can help needlessly. Wow, all for a cell phone. OP, I absolutely agree with you. I don't like putting my cell phone on my business email. Well, I didn't like it when I had a job, but I do remember one time in a company, my boss was eager for me to have a company cell phone, and the more he pushed, the more I said no and no and no. But then the 2010 earthquake hit Chile, and I was obligated to get one for safety reasons. Anyway, that's a whole other story. Thanks for sharing, OP. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out. So here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later. And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.